Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla Kempers. I am a fantasy and sci-fi and I guess poetry writer, and I am going to be self-publishing my first few projects. So welcome back to another Path to Publishing video. I just wanted to officially make the announcement that the first two projects that I publish are in fact going to be self-published. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I have come to this decision for the first two projects. I have basically been researching my options for a long time now because I was just going back and forth a lot between if I wanted to self-publish, if I wanted to try and go the traditional route, what the different options are. There's like smaller publication companies and smaller indie publishing houses now, and like non-traditional agents and stuff. So a couple factors played a role in why I've decided to self-publish my first two projects. If you're curious what the first two projects are, the first project is Between the Waves, which is the writing project that I've been working on the most over the past couple years. It is a high fantasy pirate adventure story. It's going to be YA, it's going to be fantasy romance. There's pirates and magic and inter-realm travel and all of the good stuff. The second project that I am going to self-publish, I haven't announced yet, and I think I might wait a little bit longer to like officially announce. If you're on my Patreon, you may have already heard what the project is, or you may already have an idea of what the project is going to be. So let's talk a little bit about Between the Waves and why I specifically want to self-publish this project. A lot of the reasoning and research that I've done has come from social media and fellow self-published authors that I really look up to and have built this sort of career for themselves in publishing that I really admire, and it's kind of the way that I would like to go. One key video and someone here on YouTube who has great resources regarding self-publishing is Katie Wismer. I'm gonna leave the video where she talks about kind of the pros and cons between self-publishing and traditional publishing and why she chose to go with the self-publishing route down below so that you can watch that, because I've watched that video multiple times over the past year and a half. The time that I watched it last week was kind of the final time that like officially helped me make my decision. So here are the reasons that I specifically want to self-publish Between the Waves. First of all, Between the Waves is going to be a series. I went back and forth with this so many times. I feel like you guys were just thrown through an absolute roller coaster ride, and I was also thrown through a roller coaster with the way that my brain was going around this whole project, because I really, really love the project. I see so much potential with it. I'm excited about it. I've written multiple versions of it now, and somehow I love all of them. I know some of them aren't right, but I just love writing the characters and the world that I'm kind of just like trying to tweak the plot and get the plot right now. And initially when I started writing it, I started writing it as a series. My idea was that it was going to be a trilogy, and that was kind of how I structured it because that's kind of just how the idea came to me. Then as I was doing more research, I started to kind of panic a little bit because for some reason in my head, I just think that Between the Waves is the first project of mine that's going to be published into the world, into the fantasy fiction world. Even when I compare it to other projects, I just know that Between the Waves is going to be the first one, or I want it to be the first one. So when I was working on it and I realized like this is the project I want to publish, I was still leaning towards traditional publishing. So because of that, I restructured and rewrote the entire thing during the spring after NaNoWriMo, which is when I started Between the Waves. So the reason that I restructured the entire thing was because I wanted to go the traditional publishing route. That's what I was leaning towards, and therefore I wanted to write the story as a standalone novel with potential for a series. And honestly, this I think is one of the main factors that I specifically want to self-publish this book, because I know I want it to be a series, and if I traditionally publish it and manage to get an agent with it, the chances of a debut author getting like a whole series from it is very low. There are also some other factors that have to do with kind of control of the novel. I want to have all of the creative control. Like, I want to decide on the cover, I want to decide on the title if I decide I want to change it, I want to decide how many books are in the series, and I want to decide if I have a bunch of novellas and little stories and stuff that I can tell about all of the characters. So when I release Between the Waves, I want to like also release extra content about the characters and stuff on my Patreon, and like write little backstories about them, and just really spend some good writing time in this world. And I think that the best way to do that is for me to have full control over how this story is released into the world. Also, publishing timelines is a thing, and just like general pressure from traditional publishing. I kind of settled into the idea that I would self-publish this book when I settled into the idea that I don't want to be a full-time author, but I do want to be writing my entire life, and I think I will be writing my entire life. And I think that self-publishing this project and starting off with self-publishing this project and the following books in the series is going to give me more freedom and more control of my time. I'm still going to be super busy, but I know that it's going to be on my terms. And like, if I want to release 2 books in 1 year for the series, or like a book and a novella for the series, I can do that. I have a lot more control over my timeline and how the structure of the series goes if I am self-publishing this one myself. And I also, as far as the timeline goes, genuinely, I'm kind of impatient. Like, I want this story to be out in the world when I finish it, and when I'm done polishing it, and when I've got like my editors and all my beta readers and stuff have gone through it and it's finally ready. That's when I want it to go out in the world. And chances are, with traditional publishing and me being a brand new author that's never published anything and doesn't really have like an established writing career yet, chances are it's going to be like minimum 2 years after I find an agent that Between the Waves actually comes out into the world. And that's like if I can even find an agent to publish it. I just don't really want to have to worry about that. I think because, you know, the whole not making writing my full-time income and kind of diversifying my income and being able to keep some of the creative freedom with my writing and not feeling the pressure of serving the marketing trends all the time. That's something that's really important to me so that I can continue to enjoy my writing. That's not saying that I might never traditionally publish anything. I just know that it's not going to be Between the Waves because of the series situation and the control that I want to keep with it. But I think that somewhere down the line with some project, if I think it's really going to work well with traditional publishing, then I might try and go that route and see if it's for me and see how it works. But for Between the Waves, I have decided that I am going to self-publish it. I know that it's going to be a lot of work, but I think that this is how I can get the most out of this story, and this is how I can put the most into this story as I'm releasing it. So where do we go from here? Obviously, the path to publishing videos are going to be more self-publishing related now because I have quite a lot to learn. I have heard people paying thousands and thousands of dollars in order to self-publish their first book, which is totally understandable. I am hoping that I can spend like half as much money as what other people spend on publishing, only because I am going to do my own cover design, specifically because I have like a custom illustration that I'm working on and I want to use that. Luckily, because of all the other self-published authors that I've watched and kind of collected resources from, I feel like I have a lot of good like tips and tricks for saving money when you're publishing without like it being detrimental to the sales of your book. I know that there are discounts available in order to get like barcodes for books and that sort of thing. And I'm going to be doing the cover myself, and I'm going to be doing the market research and all of the marketing myself and taking advantage of my platforms and setting up my website and making sure that everything is like optimized for conversions. Those are all things that I'm very confident doing, and I kind of just need to learn a little bit more about the book publishing industry in particular, because it's generally not what I've done marketing and design in. And then obviously there are other things like the editors and the sensitivity readers. That's all that comes off the top of my head. But aspects like that, I want to be able to spend good money on good quality team members to be able to bring my book to the highest quality possible. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I just wanted to sit down and make this announcement and kind of run through a little bit what thoughts I was having when I was deciding on this. As of right now, I kind of see myself in the future staying as a self-published author. I just think that that's going to work better as a business model for me. And I also think that it's going to work better for my creativity in the long run. But like down the road, if maybe I have a project that for some reason is perfect for like traditional publishing and I think it'll do really well and I want to explore that route, I'm definitely not opposed to it. I could totally see myself being a hybrid author. It just kind of depends. I genuinely think it's going to be project dependent, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update and let you know kind of what the plans are now. So the path of publishing videos are going to be shifting to self-publishing route, which I'm so excited. I'm genuinely so excited for that. I basically just get to do all of the things that I do for work anyways, except I get to do them for my own project, which I think is going to be really interesting. And because I'm impatient and I want the book to be out in the world when it's done, I'm excited that I'm going to get the opportunity to make that decision and actually release it out into the world when it's done and when I know it's ready, rather than worrying about like other timelines. So yeah, I'm excited. I have a lot of work ahead of me, but that is okay. Completely understandable, and I am ready for it and I'm excited for it, and I know it's going to be so fulfilling. Let me know if there are any particular areas of self-publishing that you want me to explore and maybe provide like a beginner view on. You can stay up to date with behind the scenes content on my Patreon, which is also a great way to support me in my self-publishing journey because I know it's going to be pricey. And Patreon is also usually going to be the first place to see like covers and picking beta readers and just like a lot more of that exclusive content, just because it's a smaller community and it's less overwhelming for me to share like beta reader forms and stuff on Patreon first. And it just feels like quite a community over there, so I feel better about doing it. So that is the plan. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I'm excited and nervous, so this will be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a wild next few years. So I hope that you'll stick around on this journey with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.